Hello, welcome to the Self Learning Podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on Chapter 4 Culture and Socialization. And our topic is socialization. I believe that a complete life is inclusive of everything around us: plants, cattle, guests, feasts, festivals, quarrels, friendship, companionship, discrimination, scorn. All these and more were present in one single place, my home, although life sometimes appeared complicated then. I know now understand how customate it was. It is thanks to such a childhood, perhaps, that if I get just a glimpse of someone's suffering, I feel I can comprehend the whole of it. At the time of birth, the human infant knows nothing about what we call society or social behavior. Yet, as the child grows up, he or she keeps learning not just about the physical world, but about what it means to be a good or bad girl or boy. He or she knows what kind of behavior will be applauded and what kind will be disapproved. Socialization can be defined as a process whereby the helpless infant gradually becomes a self aware, knowledgeable person skilled in the ways of culture into which he or she is born. Indeed, without socialization, an individual would not behave like a human being. Most of you will be familiar with the story of the wolf children of Midnapore. Two small girls were reportedly found in a wolf den in Bengal in 1920. They walked on all four like animals, preferred a diet of raw meat, howled like wolves, and lacked any form of speech. Interestingly, such incidents have been reported from other parts of the world too. We have so far been talking about socialization and the newborn infant. But the birth of a child also alters the lives of those who are responsible for its upbringing. They too undergo new learning experiences. Becoming grandparents and parenting involves a whole set of activities and experiences. Older people still remain parents when they become grandparents, of course, thus forging another set of relationships, connecting different generations with each other. Likewise, the life of a young child changes with the birth of a sibling. Socialization is a lifelong process, even though the most critical process happens in the early years, the stage of primary socialization. The secondary socialization, as we saw, extends over the entire life of a person. While socialization has an important impact on individuals, it is not a kind of cultural programming in which the child absorbs passively the influences with which he or she comes into contact. Even the most recent newborn can assert his or her will. She or he will cry when hungry and keep crying until those responsible for the infant's care respond. You may have seen how normal everyday schedules of the family get completely recognized with the birth of a child. You have already been introduced to the concept of status or role. social control groups, and social stratification. You are also acquainted with the what culture norms and values are. All these concepts will help us understand how the process of socialization takes place. A child in the first instance is a member of a family, but he or she is also a member of a large kin, biradari, khandan, a clan, etc., consisting of brothers, sisters, and other relatives of the parents. The family into which he or she is born may be a nuclear or extended family. It is also a member of a large society such as a tribe or subcaste, a clan or a biradari, a religious and linguistic group. Membership of these groups and institutions imposes certain behavioral norms and values on each member. Corresponding to these memberships, there are roles that are performed. For example, that of a son, a daughter, a grandchild, or a student. These are multiple roles which are performed simultaneously. The process of learning the norms, attitudes, values, or behavioral patterns of these groups begins early in life and continues throughout one's life. The norms and values may differ within a society in different families belonging to different castes, religions, or social classes or religious groups according to whether one lives in a village or a city, or one belong to tribe, and if to a tribe, to which tribe. Indeed, the very language that one speaks depends on the region one comes from. Whether the language is closer to the spoken dialect or to the standardized written form depends on the family and the socio-economic and cultural profile of the family. Agencies of socialization. Let us discuss. The child is socialized by several agencies and institutions in which he or she participates, like family, school, peer group, neighborhood, occupational group, and by social class or caste, region, or religion. Now let us discuss family. Since family systems vary widely, the infant's experiences are by no means standard across cultures. While many of you may be living in what is termed a nuclear family with your parents and siblings, others may be living with extended family members. In the first case, parents may be key socializing agents, but in the others, grandparents, an uncle, or a cousin may be more significant. Families have varying locations within the overall institutions of a society. In most traditional societies, the family into which a person is born largely determines the individual's social position for the rest of his or her life. Even when social position is not inherited at birth. In this way, the region and social class of the family into which an individual is born affect patterns of socialization quite sharply. Children pick up ways of behavior, characteristics of their parents or others in their neighborhood or community. Of course, few children simply take over in an unquestioning way the outlook of their parents. This is especially true in the contemporary world, in which change is so pervasive. Moreover, the very existence of a diversity of socializing agencies leads to many differences between the outlooks of children, adolescents, and parental generation. Can you identify any instance where you felt that what you learned from the family was at variance from your peer group, or maybe media, or even school? Now let us wind up the session, and thank you very much for engaging yourself with the Self Learning Podcast.